All righty, let's come back together. It's good to be us. One of my favorite sounds, the sound of chairs being opened because we didn't have enough of them out, right? So good morning. Good, beautiful morning. I'm Reverend Penni, honey. It is truly my honor. It is my privilege to serve this community. Take a breath. Do you feel this room? Are you feeling this room? Hey, Robert, can I get you to turn that camera over here? Thank you. So welcome. Good morning. Yeah. One of my favorite things that I heard a minister, Unity minister, say was, good morning and God morning. Good morning and whatever you call it morning. Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. Because we truly do believe that God is too big to fit into religion. And we know that across the planet, people are celebrating their divinity, looking for ways to be at peace with each other and with themselves. And we support all of it. We say, yay, you. So if you're here for the first time and they didn't catch you with any propaganda at the door, you need to let me know. Because I do want to stay in touch. And stay connected, and that's what we do here best at Unity of Flagstaff, is we stay connected. And one of the big ways that we do that is we stay in prayer and support of each other and of those in YouTube land and those out in the world, because prayer is what Unity is founded on. So we are big practicers of that. And if you are in need of prayer, where are my prayer partners? There are people in the room today that will support you in that. If that doesn't feel comfortable, leave it on a prayer request slip over here in the corner. If that doesn't work, 1-800-NOW-PRAY, 24/7. They'll pray with you at Silent Unity. We are here to support you, and I thank our prayer partners for the amazing work that they do. So speaking of that, let's just do a little bit of that praying. How about that? So we rest now. We say thank you, Spirit, for the opportunity to come together, to be connected. For this we are grateful. So we open our minds and our hearts. We offer up this space and this time that we might be inspired, be it message, music, community, prayer. And we're just turning it over. It's all yours now, God. And so it is. And so we're going to let it be. It is my joy and my pleasure to introduce Miss Alice Hagerman, who is our PA for the day. Thank you, Alice. Isn't this a great shot of her taking a great shot? Isn't that awesome? That's our Alice. All right, dear one. And you'll notice many times on the PowerPoints, you will see a little note at the bottom of the photographs that say, photographed by Alice Hagerman, photographed by Trina Getz. We are surrounded by brilliance and creativity. That's what I know about that. So thank you for being here, Alice.
We haven't tested this, so does it work?
It does. I was just using it. I was the test.
I see. So, good morning. Glad to be here. Nice crowd. I dressed up for the occasion. Is a recommended practice in life that we start with gratitudes and prayer requests. Now is the time to share what is happening with you. We are honored to share our prayer requests, celebrations, and gratitudes. And we collectively affirm with you and those that you pray for and celebrate with that the presence of God is in all things, and it is the one power. We know with you that God, the universe spirit, whatever you call it, knows the details Does anyone have a gratitude or prayer request that you would like to share with the community? Hands are flying.
All right, it's Michael. You got to listen to me here a little bit. I'm so grateful that I survived last weekend. It was a thrill. Helen took me to the emergency room. By golly, I hurt like I've never hurt before. They asked me, well, how do I hurt on a scale from 1 to 10?
Okay.
And I told them it's an 11. But I'm here. I did it. Then I went to the doctor, and she cut me open on Thursday too. But I'm doing much better, and I'm extremely thankful. And now I also have one more thing to tell you. On June 10th, we're going to go out and pick up trash along our road. June 10th.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. And Michael, you know, the way that you started telling that story, it sounds like that Helen really knows how to show you a good time taking you to the emergency room. Right? And we're affirming your continued healing. We're knowing that to be true for you. Because who's going to lead us out there to pick up trash on what's the date again?
I'm the bullshit expert.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
I have gratitude. First of all, my two little ones finally are in perfect health, and they're back in school doing great. And for my sister Lee, who came to visit me from Texas.
Hey,
So we were having
thank
a
you,
great
Lee.
visit. I hadn't seen her in about 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
So it's really nice. So I'm very
Wow.
grateful.
Well, thank you for sharing your Sunday with us. Thank you. Yes. And we are celebrating perfect expression of health for you and all of your family, Laura. And thank you again, Lee, for being with us. Yes.
As some of you know, my late beloved and I wrote a book, published it a few years ago. I've sold it to 1 or 2 people here, called A Gang of Ravens Came to Lunch. I'm celebrating. Last week, I sold 6 copies
Hooray.
to the museum.
Ooh,
So
I
they will
love
be
that.
be out there in their little bookstore pretty soon.
And Norm,
As
we
we used to say when I used to be a fundamentalist. Hallelujah.
well, we still say hallelujah in New Thought. And Norm, we're celebrating that we're going to be able to say we knew you when. So yay you. Yay you. And your beloved.
I had a great weekend. Last weekend went to see Mom on Mother's Day in California, and she's just improved tremendously since January. A lot more talkative. She seemed like her normal self almost. And I got to wheel her over to the main dining room where the independent people go, and she used to go for years and years, and some of these people she hadn't seen for years. We went for lunch on Saturday, and then somebody called her Sunday morning, and I came in, and she says, I have a surprise for you. They called me and said, would you like to come to the Mother's Day brunch today? So we got to go to a special Mother's Day brunch in the dining place, and it was really cool.
Aww. Steve, we are celebrating your mother's improved and continued healing. And we're celebrating with you. This has been a big time. And I just commend your courage.
So on Tuesday, my older sister is scheduled for knee surgery, and she is the kind that panics about this kind of thing. One time she actually had it canceled because she freaked out as they came up with a mask. She's just the opposite of me. I get calm around doctors. I talk to her, and she's an atheist, so oh well, but I'm still asking that she be held in consciousness here. Her name is Leah.
So, Leah. So, Bruce, what we know is it's not her consciousness that we pray with. It's ours. And we're affirming for her that she's at peace. And whatever that looks like for her to get there, we see that coming easily. And we're affirming your support and your love of her and that of her family. So thank you.
So this side of the room had a lot of,
Okay, so now it's a contest.
and now
Okay.
we can pass over here now. Kitty?
And we don't have, we don't have a quota. We can just keep going with the gratitude, right?
I'm grateful for spring and improving health, and I was able to travel to my brother's wedding, and he and his wife just had their baby a week after the wedding. And little Fable is a week old today.
Fable.
His name is Fable. And yeah, prayers for their new baby and their transition, and a lot of joy there. Prayers for a transition for us. Prayers for my husband's health. He's been struggling with chronic fatigue syndrome, and it's been particularly tough. He's also hoping to start a new part-time job because he's been out of work, so we're really thankful for the possibility of work. And prayers for transition. We have a dear friend who has lost his housing, and we're going to transition into keeping him out of homelessness by living with us. So prayers for ease with that, and for his health as he deals with a lot.
So, Katie, first of all, we're celebrating also the expression of health that you are, and knowing the strength of your body and its ability to heal. We thank you for that model. And we're holding David in the light. We see him energized. We see him at peace. And we affirm for him, abundance is his now, as it is yours. And a new roommate is a big transition. And we're holding that in light. And we're seeing that with ease. And I'll give you a little mantra. Easy, fun, and done. And so it is. Yeah.
Good morning. Yesterday was my husband's 81st birthday, and Herbie went off to an auction and bought me a car. Now you know why I married him. For the first time in 30 years of being married, this morning he got up and made the bed.
And this is where we say in New Thought, hallelujah.
You can teach an old dog new tricks.
Katie's on it. That's awesome. Carol, we're celebrating all of that with you. I have a funny quick story to tell you. So I'm in the bathroom. Carol has on a sweater. I said, wow, don't lay that down. I might take it. She takes it off, and she hands it to me. It's going to be a whole chronicle on bathroom manifestation. She did it. She did do that.
I'm Brian. I have both a prayer request and a gratitude. I'm praying for help and guidance as I go through yet another transition in my living situation, housing, and also gratitude for unity, gratitude for all the souls gathered here today, and also gratitude for those opportunities and whatever the heck it was that ever motivated me to help someone else in need. I'm also, it is a real blessing to be able to do that. So thank you.
So, Brian, we're affirming the right and perfect housing is already there. And you're just going to walk smack dab right into it. And that is happening with ease. Easy, fun, and done. And we are grateful for the light you bring. And we're grateful that you're here. We're blessed by that.
Are there any others? We are grateful for the power of prayer and the good news spoken and unspoken here today. Again, we affirm that each condition, person, situation is an expression of the divine. We claim love, wisdom, healing, and wholeness. And so it is, and so we let it be. So, would you affirm with me principle number 5? So, it is not enough to understand
spiritual teachings. Let's live the truth we know. I had to email Alice and say, so I made a little change in that. I said, I don't do well with you must or we must. And so we've just changed it up a little bit to say, let's live the truth we know. So.
Okay. So, this is a very edited again. And last night, in the middle of the night, I edited it again in my head. So,
Don't you love the way we grow these PAs?
so courage. Courage is an action step in our spiritual journey. In Google, I found many definitions for a word. So for courage, I chose the one that said it was made up of 5 words: courage, compassion, character, critical thinking, and common sense. I added confidence. Courage demands that we slow down and consider what is happening and what is the best approach before we take action. Just by slowing down, we have time to determine what the best approach would be. It might just be to listen. During our daily lives, our actions should be guided by courage. Doing this, we are living the truths we know, and our lives will be calmer and more satisfying. When we forget and curse at the driver in traffic, or a slow grocery line, or our keys for not staying where we put them, that's impatience. It has no connection to courage, even though curse begins with a C.
Curse begins with a C.
Courage is very helpful in situations of health and those that demand a decision about a treatment. Rather than panic, slow down and use courage. Every day we have interactions with people, even difficult people. Remember, courage in all its components. It pays off in almost every conversation. In doing so, we may change our own lives as well as the people we interact with. And using courage in our personal lives is really important. As we strive to reach our greatest expression, utilizing courage and all its components is important as we move forward along our spiritual journey.
Very nice. Thank you, Alice. Now we're going to prepare for meditation. If somebody would be kind enough to get the lights.
Do you want this?
I'll take it. Thank you, Alice. It's fabulous. So you know, when our prayer team does the opening prayer, we have copies of it in the Serenity Room. And I was thinking we might start to do that with what our PAs write, because I'd like to see that again. How about you? Yes. Yeah. So Bernice is going to, at my request, do the song More Than My Share. She did this with us last week, and it was just touching. And she'll set up meditation with that. So just rest. Now's the time to just rest.
If I've got more than my share of the burden, well, I don't care, 'cause I've got more than my share of love. And when I'm weary and I can't rest, then I remember that I've been blessed, 'cause I've got more than my share of love. I thank my family, I thank my friends. Sing hallelujah and say amen. 'Cause I've got more than my share of love. If I've got more than my share of the burden, well, I don't care. 'Cause I've got more than my share of love.
And so we rest now. We're resting into this space. We feel the chair beneath us, supporting us, holding us. And we breathe deeply, breathing in peace and releasing. And we breathe deeply, breathing in rest, breathing out we feel our connection in this room to each other. We feel that expanding out beyond this space. And we see the tendrils of light that reach around our planet. And then spinning off into the universe, we feel that deep, wide birth of connection. And in this expanded consciousness, we behold the millions of light expressing we marvel at the beauty of this connection. We rest here for a moment. We bring to the forefront of our consciousness that each and every one, the expression of their own divinity. And we feel the celebration deep within our souls. And we hold here for a moment as we rest into silence. and we feel the joy of that oneness, we know the power and the strength that we draw from all as the expressions of spirit. And as we move back toward this point of light, we celebrate and we give thanks. And so it is. And so we're just going to let it be.
I am a woman who sings, dances like fire on the winds of the moment. Maybe the pleasure it brings me is payment enough. I am a woman who sings, tired of the rat race we've built with our money, hoping the wings of my songs can carry me on. And it's not like cleaning or sewing or cooking. You feel without touching, you see without looking, and oh, it's the voice of the heart. I am a woman who sings. Bring me your stories, I'll weave them around you, dye them the colors of spring, stitch you a coat you can wear for the rest of your life. And it's not like cleaning or sewing or cooking. You feel without touching, you see without looking, and oh, it's the voice of the heart. And it's not like cleaning or sewing or cooking. You feel without touching, you see without looking, and oh, it's the voice of the heart. I am a woman who sings.
Thank you, Bernice. Thank you, thank you. Bernice won't be with us for a little while, but she'll be back in December.
Yeah.
I'm already committing her to that. We have so enjoyed having you, really.
It's been wonderful. Yeah.
Thank
What a
you.
great community you have here.
Ta-da! You are right about that. They are amazing. All right. Honor, courage, honor. Do yourself the honor. So I had an interesting response to that title initially, and it was a great little short conversation. And Alice said, wow, that sounds really egotistical. And I said, oh, I'm going to have to look at that. So I love those kind of things. And you hear me say this, probably not as often as I actually should. But if you have a suggestion, if you have a thought, I really like to hear that. You can email me, you can text me, you can call me. This is your community. I'm not just up here to make noise for myself. It might look that way sometimes, right? Does that woman really get paid to do that? Look how much fun she's having. And yes, she does, and she's grateful for it. I am. So on this day, May 22nd in 1932, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to pilot an airplane solo across the Atlantic Ocean. While most accounts frame Amelia's legacy around that work as a pioneer in aviation, especially for women, she really contributed a lot more than that. And as you know, in 1937, during a flight to circumnavigate the globe, that sounds like something you have to be ethereal to do, doesn't it? And this is in 1937, so think about that when it comes to quality of planes. She disappeared somewhere over the Pacific in July of 1937. Now, her plane wreckage was never found, and she was officially declared lost at sea, but I argue that point. I think she flew from there. I think that her wings hold all of us and give us all lift into the expressions that we have the opportunity to be. Anyone here currently experiencing any fear? You don't have to raise your hand. Please don't raise your hand. You do have my email, though. Amelia Earhart said this: the most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. The fears are paper tigers. You can do anything you decide to do. You can act to change and control your life. And the procedure and the process, well, that's just the reward on its own. Really quite an amazing woman if you get a chance, Amelia Earhart. Now, you know fear when you see it, right? There it is, feel it. Got it? And you also know what courage looks like, right? Got a picture in your mind? When I say the word courage, what happens for you?
Relaxing, inviting.
It's inviting. What do you see? Who do you see when I say the word courage? I have a couple of examples for you. Elizabeth Freeman. Now, that probably is not a name all of us know. But less than 1 year after the adoption of the Massachusetts state constitution, say that 3 times really fast, a brave enslaved woman challenged the document's proposed principles. She was motivated by the promise of liberty that document stood for, and she sued the state of Massachusetts for her freedom. Yeah. Elizabeth Freeman. This case marked the beginning of a group of freedom suits that would ultimately lead to the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court to outlaw slavery in her state. Yay. Yay, Massachusetts, right? She's buried in your neighborhood. Elizabeth Freeman. Got that? When we all go see Bernice, we'll go visit that. Here's another one. Dalip Singh Sond was his name. He was the first Sikh and first Indian American elected to Congress. In 1940, he organized efforts to open citizenship to Indians. 1940, folks. Let's feel that for a moment. And in 1946, Indian immigrants were able to pursue naturalization in our country. And in 1955, he announced his campaign to run for the House of Representatives. And he was reelected twice. Now that's courage. Now these are big acts of courage. Big acts. Wait, I even have visuals. These are big acts of courage. I'm going to repeat a line. I want you to repeat it after me. Because I don't know about you, but when I read those big acts of courage, I start to think, well, what have you done lately? I start to think, well, what have you been doing for 62 years? And then I found this affirmation. I give myself, your turn, radical permission to speak and act in alignment with my inner voice of truth. I give myself radical permission to speak and act in alignment with my inner voice of truth. And if that doesn't come out as flying a plane across the Atlantic, that's all right. And if that doesn't express as changing the whole state's view on slavery, that's okay. The first step to courage is to show up. You did today. Here you are. I give myself radical permission to speak and act in alignment with my inner voice of truth. I believe that is on your seats, that little affirmation. Take it home with you. There's a place for a magnet for the front of the refrigerator. These are faces of courage that we've talked about. Elizabeth Freeman, Amelia Earhart, Dalip Singh Sahn. Who's that down there in that right-hand corner? Your acts of courage may not make the headlines. But do yourself the honor of having courage. Ernest Holmes said this, God's creative power of mind is right here, right here, right here. We have as much of it as we believe in and embody. Now that's courage. Sometimes it's letting the hand of your kindergartner go into that school. And sometimes it's them, that kindergartner, that's brave enough to walk into that classroom. Sometimes it's being able to say, will you pray with me? Sometimes it's being able to say, I love you, but I gotta go. That takes courage. It takes a lot of courage to wake up the first year, 2 years, 5 years after your beloved has left the planet and say, I've got the courage to do this. I'm going to honor the divinity in myself and that individual enough to have courage to get up and make this day happen again. Sometimes it looks like saying thank you when you may not mean it. The courage does not always come in these big, huge Amazon boxes with ribbons on them. Sometimes it's the courage to stand at the Flagstaff Family Food Center and bless people when they don't seem very grateful. Sometimes it's owning your divinity. That's courage. Because it just ain't always easy. So studies have shown that there's a certain part of the brain that is activated, really, when we engage in courageous acts. I'm going to say this once because I only want to mess it up once. This is the part of the brain. Subgenual anterior cingulate cortex. Let's say it together. No, I'm just kidding. You know, you can go on Google and you say, how do you pronounce this? And they have this little mouth that does this thing, right? And it actually kind of gives you the shape of what your mouth should look like when you're saying it. So I'm in the mirror going, I thought, I'm courageous just to bring that up in the message. So that part of the brain. Science has determined that keeping this part of the brain exercised is key to overcoming fear. Because it's the part of the brain that kicks in and causes courageous acts. This is not just something that we're blabbing about. This is something your body physically has the ability to do. And just like any muscle, go ahead and exercise it. And it'll get stronger. Now, you've heard me say this before. My friend Labonak used to say, stay prayed up. And I was thinking, so I'm gonna stay subguinal anterior cingulate cortezed up. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep exercising that part of my brain that gives me the opportunity to express courage. We'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. It doesn't mean I have to go out into the world and create extreme conditions so that I can prove that I'm courageous. So let's take that off the table, right? Everyday life is enough for us to have to tap into our courage. And everyday life is enough for us to know that we honor the divine self and being that we are every time we're willing to step into a courageous act. But it's not just in your head. Did you know that the root of the word courage is cor? It's the Latin word for heart. How cool is that? In one of its earliest forms, the word courage meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Courage is a heart word. I know, to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Courage is a heart word. So now we got the brain working with us. We got our hearts engaged. This is pretty cool stuff, right? The Revealing Word says this about courage. It says that courage is a spiritual quality that enables us to remain poised and centered in God in the midst of great difficulties and danger. Poised and centered. I wrote that and put it on my refrigerator. The realization that God, the universe, is a spiritual presence which is constantly striving to express in and through us fills us with new courage and a fearlessness that is beyond description, says Charles Fillmore. This is courage. The thing that courage takes a lot of is heart. It just takes a lot of heart. I ain't afraid of nothing. I hear myself say often, go ahead, tease the universe. I ain't afraid of nothing. That's not courage. Courage isn't the lack of fear. It's just not the lack of fear. It's a readiness to act in the face of fear. And it takes heart. And it takes trust, and it takes faith, and some days it takes history, because I need to go back and remember. That's right, I've been courageous before. That's right, God didn't leave me standing at the altar. That's right. I trust that this friendly, omnipotent, omnipresent, beautiful spirit that expresses through me has got my back. And courage is the expression of gratitude for that. Every time we're courageous, we say, thank you, universe, for making me so courageous and brave. Thank you for having my back and me knowing it's okay for me to move forward when I just don't want to. I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to feel that. Courage is the gratitude we give to the universe for always having our backs. Don't you feel really brave? Don't you? Don't you like feel all puffed up, right? But it's not always how brave I am in a given moment. It comes down to my heart, and it means I have to be willing to be vulnerable. That's real courage. It's easy to be tough. It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. Not one that I can honestly say I've ever mastered. But boy, when we are present to the fact that Spirit's got our backs, we can allow ourselves to put ourselves out there. And that's courage. Brene Brown says this in her book, Daring Greatly. You guys haven't read that, I really think. That would be a great book study. Somebody write that down. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. That's where courage starts. Vulnerability sounds like truth, and it feels like courage. Do yourself the honor and let yourself be vulnerable and open to that infinite expression. Vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage aren't always comfortable. I will guarantee you that. But they're never weak. This is how we honor ourselves. This is how we do the honor of being courageous and showing the universe that we are grateful for having our backs. I recently wrote this. I measure my faith in God by the faith I have in myself. To doubt or distrust or waver would be to dishonor the infinite one. Anise Nin says this: life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Destroy the God of our intellect, Emerson says, and experience the presence of God. The power within you is the activity of God, Eric Butterworth reminds us. This is how we get our wings. This is how we lift others. This is how we impact our world and the world around us, is to be courageous, to know our power, and not be afraid to use it. This is how we get our wings. When you reach for the stars, you may not get one, says Leo Burnett, but you sure won't get a handful of mud. I'm going for the wings. How about you? I say bring on the wings. God's creative power of mind is right here. We have as much of it as we believe in and embody. How about you? Are you willing to honor yourself with courage and having courage? As for me, I say give me wings. Here's to Amelia. Namaste.
All those places feet can't take you, Hecate shell. Standing in these lines can make you into something pale. I look up to the sky so blue from down here in my bed. I'd have wings, I'd have wings, I'd have wings instead. So give me wings, big ass wings, golden folding wings. Give me wings to fly over mesas and canyons with timeless abandon. Give me wings to fly. I would stretch them to the heavens. I'd land on every ledge. I would let the currents wind me down to river's edge. Oh, I'd be friends with ravens, wrens, they'd all show me the way. I would not have to pray. So give me wings, big ass wings, golden folding wings. Give me wings to fly over mesas and canyons with timeless abandon. Give me wings to fly. Wings to fly. Thank you.
Yeah, how about it, right? Come on now. Come on up here. Let's bring those baskets in. We want to remind you that there is a gift table for you over here. Everything on it is free. Please stop by and look at it. Because if you're not gonna take that stuff or you're not interested, that's fine. But I'll stop putting all that clutter out there and we'll put something else, won't we? I'm thinking cookies. No, I'm not thinking cookies. So we thank you for being present today and keeping in mind that you do continue with your generosity to support the spiritual consciousness of this community. And we're grateful for that. All those out there in YouTube, of course, you can go to the website to donate, and we appreciate that. We love having you guys. That number's getting bigger every week. You guys got to go out and see that. Wait, let them see at the camera. Yeah, there we go. So here we go. We're going to bless these baskets as they go forward to get the goods. We are courageous and abundant. We give and receive as we are inspired. We are filled with gratitude. Go forward, my friends. And let's see here. I have a couple things I do want to bring to your attention. We are, of course, having a garage sale. Now, we're having it out in Mountain Air. It is the big one that this is their 29th year. Bring your stuff. Bring it here to the center. You can put it right back there on the wall. Nothing over 40 pounds. No huge TVs. No appliances. Blah, 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 blah. It's all on the website. But we're also looking for volunteers, and that opportunity is out in the foyer because it's going to take a little effort to put this fundraiser together, and we are appreciating Tom and Shar Snipes for letting us use their garage. It's hard to have a garage sale without one. So all proceeds are benefiting Unity of Flagstaff. If you have something that needs to be picked up that you can't get here, you give me a holler here at the church. You will find that number on the website, on my card, on the bathroom wall. It's everywhere. So be sure and volunteer, please. We're looking forward to that. June 1st is going to be the sorting party, and if you're interested in that, just click on the I'm interested in that in your newsletter, and I'll get you hooked up. All right, let's bring those baskets back down here. Could you do a little ling behind me here? There we go. I don't know if I can say that again twice. All right, so here we go. We're going to bless these baskets. And if you will with me, thank you, Spirit. Bless the gifts. Bless the givers. Bless the receivers. Bless those that nurture. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, my friends. And together we are affirming. Whoa! Well, none of those checks bounced. So here we go. Sorry. I can't help myself. Here we go. All right. The light of God surrounds us. Stand up, if you will, please. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is, and all is well. Thank you, and create an amazing week, my friends. Yes? Oh, and there's a board meeting this week, and it's an open board meeting, and we start at 12 noon, and that's on Tuesday. Right? That's what you wanted me to say, right? Okay. All right. Act like you like each other now.
Do you wear a mic?